Hello, everyone. My name is Milana, and today I want to talk to you about defining humanity in a post-microbiome age. The ship of Theseus, also known as Theseus's paradox, has endured for thousands of years as one of the most befuddling yet fascinating philosophical quandaries of human identity. For those of you who aren't familiar or maybe just need a refresher, the thought experiment raises the question of whether an object that has had all of its components replaced remains fundamentally the same object. In its original iteration proposed by Plutarch in the first century, this was in reference to replacing the wood of a ship. But what if we were to apply Theseus's paradox to cellular regeneration in the human body? As multicellular organisms whose constituent pieces are being constantly regenerated and replaced, how can we define a continuity of identity and discrete parameters of self? 20th century refinement in epistemological paradigms in the arts and sciences gave rise to a set of parameters that can be understood as the classical biological definitions of self. The immune system, the brain, and the genome seemed to satisfy defining the individual human self across time and space by its material basis. All of this has now been all of this has now been called into question by the maturation of microbiome research. Perhaps most challenging to concepts of human self and even free will has been the elucidation of the microbiome gut-brain axis. If microbes have been found to modulate the immune system, brain, genome, and more generally mood and behavior as a whole, how can we define a discrete self? To briefly return to Theseus's paradox, would the ship still be the same ship if half of its components were not even its own? Because current estimates approximate half of the cells in our body to be microbial. This vastly undermines any notion of humans as bounded individual entities and reframes them as dynamic and interactive community of both human and microbial cells. Dialogues surrounding the microbiome and human identity are fundamentally polarizing because they challenge this idea we have of the self as autonomous and sovereign and reframe life as symbiotic and in a community with a non-self on which it depends. The findings of microbiome research are also at the center of a paradigmatic shift in the traditional distinction between the arts and sciences, with the arts being thought of as exclusively concerned with the human, and the natural sciences being thought of as concerned with the non-human. If humans depend on microbes, a new synthesis culminating in microbial humanities could bridge a long antiquated schism between these fields of study. The human microbiome redefines what and who we imagine ourselves to be. It casts the body as an ecosystem or an elaborate vessel. And these affirmations of multi-species relationality have facilitated novel approaches to conceptualizing pathophysiologies ranging from autoimmune disorders to psychiatric conditions, encouraged their destigmatization, and could even be the key to establishing interdisciplinary critical medical humanities. By opening up a space that resists our natural inclination toward anthropocentrism and highlights community and multitude, we have begun to broaden our gaze from the individual pieces of wood composing Theseus's ship to the larger ocean by which it is able to sail. Thank you.